The report, an is implemented by the Institute of Security Studies in partnership with Interpol and the Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime. The Global Organized Crime Index is an innovative tool designed to measure levels of organized crime in a country and assess their resilience to organized criminal activity. The report states that Nigeria continues to face series of security challenges, corruption, and other criminal activities. According to the survey, the status of organized criminality in Nigeria increased by 0.13 points. Nigeria scored 7.28 points out of 10 points, which makes it the sixth in the world and second highest in Africa, behind the Democratic Republic of Congo with 7.35 points and ahead of South Africa with 7.18 points. In 2021, the last time the report was released, Nigeria was ranked 5th with a score of 7.14 points. The report notes that levels of criminality are increasing worldwide, while resilience measures are falling short of meeting the threat. In the criminal actors category, Nigeria has 7.20 points with an increase of 0.5, while it scored 8.50 points in the criminal network score. The survey also shows an increase in the number of foreign criminal actors active in the country, as its score increased by 0.50 in the category. The country also scored 5.50 points for the presence of mafia-style groups, 7.00 points for private sector actors, and 7.50 points for state-embedded actors. For the purpose of the Global Organized Crime Index, organized crime is defined as illegal activities conducted by groups or networks acting in concert by engaging in violence, corruption, or related activities in order to obtain directly or indirectly a financial or material benefit. Such activities may be carried out both within a country and transnationally. Being aware of the security situation in the country, at the United Nations General Assembly, President Bola Tinubu had called for international support to combat violent extremism and organized crimes.
Mercenaries and extremists with their lethal weapons and vile ideologies invade our region from the north. This harmful traffic undermines the peace and stability of the entire region. African nation will improve our economics so that our people do not risk their life to sweep the floors and streets of other nations. We also shall devote ourselves to disbanding extremist groups on our turf. Yet, to fully contain this threat, the international community must strengthen its commitment to arrest the flow of arms and violent people into West Africa.
The implication of this scary report no doubt lays credence to previous reports that places Nigeria amongst list of fragile states. Benga Ashuru, Arise News.
Well, for more on this, let's bring in Dr. Marvel Akpoyibo. He's the former Deputy Inspector General of Police. So glad you could join us. And, well, this is something worrisome, and perhaps let's try and see if we can break it down. When we talk about organized crime, what should Nigerians or the average African be thinking of?
Yes. When you are talking about organized crime, it is a threat to the existence of that particular nation. And no country will fold her hands and watch organized crime thrive in its territory. It is good to solicit help from other countries, but you'll be expecting too much to expect other countries to come to your aid while your hands are folded. We have a responsibility to secure the lives and property of our people. Why, if the borders remain porous, they are unsecured, and there's a free flow of arms light arms and ammunition into the country and firearms to the country, then we have a real problem. So we have a responsibility, a collective responsibility for that matter, to ensure that organized crime are discouraged and disallowed in our country, because it will present danger to every one of us. So we're all stakeholders. We're all endangered species if organized crime thrive in any country. So we have a duty to make sure that efforts are put together collectively to ensure that organized crimes are not given any breathing space in Nigeria.
It's good you make that intervention that, it's an all-stakeholder affair. Everybody needs to, weigh in on this. But what do you think makes Nigeria attractive to organized crime, that it holds that unenviable position as 6th in the world? What needs to be done? How do we begin to push back on organized crime?
Yeah, there are so many factors that really enhance organized crime in the country. If you look at our youth population, for example, our youths are unemployed. If you look at the level of exodus of trained, educated youth from Nigeria, if you take the statistics of those who have migrated from Nigeria to Canada, to UK for the past 2 years, you will lament for this country. Our quality workforce are migrating away because we don't have job opportunity. There is poverty in the land, there is hunger in the land, and there is unemployment. There are slums everywhere. So we really need to sit up and fine-tune our development program to ensure that internally we're able to generate job opportunity for our youth, and then hunger is reduced. If people are hungry, of course, organized crime will thrive in any given situation, and that is the truth of the matter. Yeah, and of course, when you're talking about organized crime, you cannot exclude factors that are internal. Internal factors also help to enhance or facilitate organized crimes. Because even cross-border crimes, if there are no internal conspirators, it will be difficult for them to operate freely. So we really have a responsibility to ensure a holistic approach to dealing with these issues of organized crime in Nigeria. And I must admit, is assuming a very worrisome dimension, particularly now that politics are over. Those who were following politicians, they have become idle. Some of them have been armed by their political godfathers, and now they are jobless. And so they will find themselves doing one thing or the other. There are problems on ground. Apart from transborder crime, we have also internal insecurity in Nigeria, and nobody can feign ignorance of this.
Quickly here, now let's talk about how we can get ourselves off this unenviable list. It's a tag that Nigerians and Nigeria would want to see go. How can the country, looking at its security operatives and agencies, help stem the growth of this menace?
Yeah, of course. If any country that has a weak security workforce will really have a problem contending with transnational crimes. So the security workforce needs to be trained, well-equipped, well-trained and equipped, and I repeat, well-trained and equipped to be able to contend with the sophisticated level of organized crime globally. I remember when I was CP Lagos State. I came into Lagos State as CP at a time when people thought it was impossible to reduce crime to the barest minimum. But when I came on board, and with the collaboration of the state government then, we were able to acquire equipment, working tools for the men, and the men were motivated, they were trained, and were able to send all the hoodlums away from Lagos State. And that can be replicated nationwide. Once the security personnel are well trained and well enlightened, and of course you have to pay them well, good insurance and all of that, they will give you the best. And I'm sure that, and that is the reason why you will see our security personnel when they go outside to perform their duties with their contemporaries. They excel. We have records. The records are there. They are rated as the best in the whole world. How come that when they are coming back, they are reduced to Nigerian security personnel once again? Because they have been stripped of those welfare packages there. They have been stripped of those equipment they have there. They have been stripped of everything that motivated them to good work outside Nigeria. So we must think outside the box. Look at our security architecture again. Look at the training system again and the equipment again, and then fine-tune same to be able to contend with contemporary crime indices. Otherwise, you can't talk about development in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Marvel Akpoyibo, former Deputy Inspector General of Police, for joining us tonight on Newsnight.